If you haven't played Apex in a long while, or you're trying to figure out which legend best suits you, you've come to the right place. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Apex Legends video, and today we are going to be going over all of the legends, their abilities, and the best ways to use them. So take this as an informational video for you guys. I don't know why I inhaled, but I guess you can smell the legends in the air. Hopefully you'll get some information out of this video that will help you choose who is best and right for you. And I'm going to be starting off with Bloodhound, and I have a friend here, Miss Bijou, who will be helping me demonstrate some of these legends and their abilities. Say hi, Bijou.
Hi, Bijou.
Oh boy. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to start with Bloodhound here, and let's first talk about Bloodhound's passive. Bloodhound's passive is basically, he's going to be able to see enemies' footsteps, their tracks, what they were doing, and how long ago that they did it. You will be able to follow any enemy using Bloodhound's passive up to a total of around 90 seconds. And it will help you hunt down the enemy and, you know, slaughter them.
We talk of victory and slaughter.
So that's Bloodhound's passive. Let's go on to his tactical. His tactical is basically a scan that will tell you how many enemies are in your radius, and they will stay pinged for about 4 seconds. Okay, so I scanned Bijou and it marks her, and I can see her through structures and through walls. Now, if I was activate Beast of the Hunt, it's going to highlight her one color the entire time. And as you can see, I can see her tracks via the passive as well. And if I was to knock Bijou, you can see that I have 25 seconds on the timer right now. Now, knocking her would increase my Beast of the Hunt timer, which allows me to stay in it longer.
Wow, thanks.
Now, some of the best ways you're going to want to use Bloodhound is kind of as an aggressor. You want to continue your scans as much as possible, giving intel to you and your team, and knowing where the enemy is allows you to do more aggressive pushes because you're able to go in and not get caught off guard. So if you ever lose track of an enemy, all you have to do is go to their last known whereabouts and follow their tracks to their new location and pop off a scan, and they'll probably be shitting their pants at that moment. Alright, so the next legend we are going to look at is my boy Gibraltar. Now, Gibraltar's passive is probably one of the most annoying passives you'll find in Apex Legends, just for the fact that if you're going against Gibraltar, it's a little more difficult because Gibraltar has a gun shield on his arm that soaks up 50 damage until it's broken, which means you won't actually hit Gibraltar until you destroy that arm shield. Let's go over Gibraltar's passive real quick. Now, I'm going to turn on friendly fire. And Bijou here is going to shoot at me. So now you can see that my arm shield is deployed, and it took maybe Bijou about a quarter, half of her clip to actually destroy the arm shield before hitting my actual shield. Now, if you're doing a 1v1 using Gibraltar, 9 times out of 10, as long as you hit your shots, you have a very good chance of knocking that enemy before they knock you, simply because of the fact that you have a arm shield that soaks up some damage. Now, if I was to shoot at Bijou and she was to shoot at me, I was able to lower her health a lot faster than she was able to lower mine because of the fact of that arm shield. Now, Gibraltar's tactical is basically a dome shield that allows you to maneuver in and out of cover in a way. So if I was to throw down this dome shield and get into a fight with Bijou here, she would have to come inside the dome to attack me. But this is where you can poke in and out of the dome to best suit your needs until it disappears. Then you're vulnerable.
Caustic.
Okay, now Gibraltar's tactical allows you to pick up your teammates a lot faster by throwing your dome shield over them and then hitting them with a res.
Hey, no worry, bro. You're gonna be okay. Gibraltar's here.
So any quick think in Gibraltar will be able to quickly get up his teammates. When you are inside the dome shield, you actually heal a percentage faster than you would normally outside of the shield. And last but not least, we are going to talk about Gibby's airstrike. One of the most deadly ultimates in Apex Legends. If you throw his airstrike, open up a radius of damage where missiles drop from the sky and target your enemies. Now, it is possible to survive the airstrike. The purpose of the airstrike is to greatly damage enemies within it, or even knock them if they are already weak. Now, if you ever catch yourself in your own airstrike, keep in mind that you can be damaged by it, you can be killed by it. At that moment, you either want to get completely out of the radius of your own airstrike or drop down a dome to protect yourself, but keep in mind that the enemies may also use your dome for cover as well. We are going to talk about my girl Lifeline. Lifeline has a passive called Combat Revive. She is able to deploy her heal drone, which is aka Doc, to revive a teammate, giving them 180-degree cover while you're still active as a combatant against your enemy, which means you can essentially res your teammate in the middle of a fight and still continue to fight as Lifeline. It also allows you to res one teammate using your Doc drone and also res another teammate using Lifeline herself. So if at any point your teammate goes down,
enemy down,
all you have to do is walk up to them, hit your Lifeline drone, and you'll be given a radius of cover for you and your teammate until they are picked up. Now keep in mind that when your teammate does get picked up, they will be weak if you are not using a gold backpack, so they can be knocked again. Something to keep in mind. Now if your teammate is weak, you can throw out your Lifeline drone, your Doc drone. It will put a tentacle inside of your teammate and it will pump them full of that sweet energy and heal them back up.
Oh, that's nasty.
Now, the energy that it gives you, the healing that it gives you, is split between the people who are using it. So if you do have more than one person on the heal drone and all of you are fairly weak, it is going to divide how much healing it gives you per teammate, and you may not get 100% healed, but it will 100% heal one person.
What you got there?
Oh, let's see what we have. Now we are going to talk about Lifeline's ultimate.
here's your birthday present.
Lifeline has the ability to call down a care package that brings you some sweet goodies. Keep in mind that when you call this thing down, there is a radius here on the bottom. You don't want to stand underneath these things. It will crush you. You will die. People will laugh. The loot that is dropped in these care packages is randomized, but it is always useful. It is good to drop these if you are strapped for loot, but keep in mind that since it does fall from the sky and make quite a unique noise, people who are nearby can see it and they may come to see what goodies you have and try and steal them from you. So if at any point I am hurt, my shield went down, I can easily swap on this purple and get back into the fight. Now, let's say that your teammate has gone down in front of an enemy. Like I said before, you can res them using your res shield and continue to provide cover and shoot the enemy while they are being picked up. And you can even poke in and out of your own Doc shield's cover. Okay, now we are going to move on to a favorite of mine, and that is Pathfinder. Pathfinder is a very unique legend in the sense that he is a very mobile legend. Pathfinder's passive basically allows him to scan survey beacons across the map that allows you to figure out where the next circle is going to be ahead of time. Now, I want you to keep in mind that every recon legend has this passive. Bloodhound, Pathfinder, as well as Crypto can scan these survey beacons across the map, but Pathfinder gets a little something extra in the sense that his cooldown for his zip line, his ultimate, is reduced per survey beacon he scans. Now, Pathfinder's tactical is a grapple that can be used in various ways to get in and out of fights. Basically, if you shoot the grapple, you can swing yourself forward, swing yourself back, and swing yourself into and out of fights. The grapple cooldown is dependent on the distance traveled. Now, one of the fun ways to use grapples that not a lot of people use is if you are fighting an enemy and they are running towards you, or you're trying to get better shots on them, or they're running away from you, you can actually pull your enemy towards you and attack them.
The enemies are shooting at me.
Hey.
Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
Celebration. Pathfinder's grapple, his tactical. To talk about the best ways to use it would probably be a separate video on its own. There are beginner level ways of using this grapple, and there are advanced level ways. I wouldn't call myself a Pathfinder expert. I'm definitely up there in regards to ways to use this grapple. Let's say I'm in a one-on-one fight with Bijou. One of the things I could do with my grapple to try and get the drop on her is if I could grapple towards her and grapple back. So her back is turned for a moment, which allows me to put a few shots into her because she wasn't able to keep track of me as quickly. So let's talk about Pathfinder's amazing ultimate. You can throw out a zip line that goes pretty far, and you're able to traverse to the other side of the zip line fairly quickly. You can also hop on and off of it. Keep in mind that multiple hops, the time to grab the zip line will increase and you can fall off of it, so try not to zip line hop too much. The zipline can also be grabbed with Pathfinder's grapple, so you can grapple to the zipline and grab it. You can even grapple the zipline and use it as a means of swinging yourself to another location. Alright, so now we're going to talk about a fan favorite, Wraith. Wraith is a very popular legend. If you have played this game, you will see a lot of people using her. Simply because, for one, she has a very small hitbox. Two, she's awesome and cool, and I stand by that Wraith love. Her passive is basically...
Me too. Me too.
Her passive allows her to hear voices in her head. She might be nuts, I don't know, but if anyone is aiming at you via sniper, AR, whichever it may be, even if they're looking at you, you'll have voices in your head that tells you there is danger nearby, someone is aiming at you. In my opinion, there are times where it's useful and times where it's not. For example, if a sniper is looking at you and they are about to shoot you, you'll probably be shot at the moment the voices tell you someone's aiming at you. Wraith is also a low profile legend, meaning that she is more difficult to hit because of her small hitbox. Lifeline, Watson, and Pathfinder are also low profile legends, to keep that in mind. Wraith's tactical ability basically allows her to go into the void and relocate herself on the fly. So there is a small delay before you actually jump into the void, but once you go into the void, you are invulnerable to damage. You cannot be hurt, and you also go slightly invisible. I say slightly simply because of the fact that there is a blue line that follows you while you are in the void, so enemies can easily track you. But the best way to use her tactical is to quickly relocate yourself from a fight, get a better position, go behind cover. Once you come out of it, then you are ready to fight, but make sure you keep in mind that there is a slight delay after the ability goes off as well, so you will not be able to pull out your weapon as quickly. Some of the best ways to use Wraith's tactical is, like I said, to relocate yourself out of fights. There is also a speed boost when you use her tactical, so it could also be used to get into fights or even chase down an enemy if you still choose to use it that way. Now, Wraith's ultimate. Wraith's portal can basically be entered from two ends. The start and end is where you cast it.
Placing a portal.
And it has a radius. The percentage you see that pops up on your screen will tell you how far you can go until the portal is dropped, but you can also drop it manually if you so choose. The portal will follow the exact path that you go. So if you were to go back through the portal, you would see that it goes up and around and back out from where you started. Teammates can take the portal, but keep in mind that enemies can take it as well. So if you are using this to get away from people, make sure you watch your back because they may be following you. Some of the best ways to use Wraith's portal is when you are in a fight and you want to relocate your entire team or yourself in the fight or out of the fight to get better positioning. So Bang has a passive called Double Time that basically increases your speed when you are being shot at. Now, the bullets don't actually have to hit you in order to give you that speed boost. They have to fly past you, and you immediately get that Double Time passive of moving quicker. So I just turned on friendly fire. If you see Bijou is going to shoot into my direction, and my Double Time passive activates, I move 30% faster, which allows me to quickly relocate in the fight or even get a better position on Bijou herself. Bang smokes. You get 2 smokes before it needs to cool down. The smokes will obscure the view of anyone inside of them. If you shoot down a smoke, it is the best way to provide cover for you and your team, but keep in mind that although your enemies may not be able to see you, you won't be able to see them either. Now, one of the best ways to use Bang Smoke in a fight is with a digital threat, which is a scope that allows you to see enemies through smoke, whether it be Bang Smoke, Caustic Smoke. Now, if I was to shoot Bijou with one of my smokes, she will be completely covered, cannot see me, but if I use my digital threat here, I can hone in on her, pop off some shots, and deal some damage. And last but not least is Bang's ultimate, which is an airstrike similar to Gibby's, but it acts in a different way. Now, Bang's airstrike actually lands in a row in front of where you toss her flare, and the airstrike itself does not actually explode until 8 seconds of the last missiles touching the ground. Let me demonstrate.
Oh, Painless knocking at the door. Incoming!
Oh, no.
Now, keep in mind that Bang's airstrike can hurt you the same way Gibby's airstrike can hurt you. The airstrike will deal damage, and it will also slow enemies, meaning it can deal damage to you and also slow you as well. If you get caught in your own airstrike, you may be vulnerable for attack, you may go down, you may die. Something to keep in mind. Okay, and now we're going to talk about Caustic. Why is there blood on my screen? Bijou's apparently punching me. Now we're going to talk about Caustic. So Caustic is a big boy. Caustic has a passive called Fortify. Fortify goes to Caustic and Gibraltar. Gibraltar and Caustic are the only legends in this game currently that have very large hitboxes, which means that their Fortify passive basically does a damage reduction of 15%, and you are not slowed by bullets, which means you can get out of the way faster if you're being shot at, but it is easier to hit you. Caustic's regular passive is called Nox Vision, so he gains threat vision on enemies moving through your gas. It acts as a tactical scope, so if you were to throw your gas on someone, you can see them through the gas the same way you can do with a digithreat.
I control death. It does not control me.
If you are new to Caustic, Caustic is, how do I put his personality? Crazy? Insane? Kind of nuts.
Morbid. Very morbid.
Morbid. Let's go with morbid. Now, Caustic has these nice little gas canisters here. You can place 3 of them down at one time before you have to wait for the cooldown in order to place down more. Now, you can have a total of 6 canisters down at one time. Now, keep in mind that these canisters are basically gas traps. If enemies come near them, they will activate, they will spew out gas, and they will deal damage to the enemy over time as long as they are inside of the gas. And it does obscure vision a little bit, the same way Bang's smokes do, but not as much. And if an enemy is in the gas, just like I said before, the passive allows you to see them. Now, these gas canisters can be thwarted very easily upon release. If you throw one down, an enemy can shoot the red area beneath the gas canister to destroy it, as well as when it's fully deployed, they can shoot the red area below it to destroy the gas canister. Now, one of the best ways to avoid this is if you are trying to use the gas canister right away in the middle of a fight, you would want to throw it at the enemy, and if they do not shoot it before it fully deploys, you can shoot it yourself to set it off. So if I was pushing Bijou, I'll throw a gas canister, shoot it myself, and the gas canister will go off. If she's within the radius, it will deal damage. Now, one of the best ways to use Caustic's gas traps in a fight is to actually use the gas trap itself as cover. If you were to throw a gas trap in front of you and there is an enemy shooting at you, you can sit behind the gas trap and they can pop shots at you, but the gas trap will act as a shield and they cannot get close or they'll be getting ticks of damage. You'll also be seeing them through your tactical threat until the gas trap disappears. So if you ever need to push an enemy, use the trap as cover. If you ever take damage, you can use the trap as cover as well. Let's say I'm in a 1v1 with Bijou here. I can throw down a gas trap, use the gas trap as cover, and I can pop a shield back behind it. If she shoots the gas trap, she cannot shoot past it. And I can continue to heal up and then use it as cover and then deal some damage. And lastly, we're going to talk about Caustic's ultimate, which is a gas grenade. It acts the exact same way a gas trap does. It still does those ticks of damage. It still obscures view. You can still see enemies within gas. The only difference is that it deals a little bit more damage than one gas trap, and the radius of the canister, the grenade that you throw out, is a lot larger. So you can throw the gas trap, you can throw the gas grenade on the ground at an enemy. Any enemy within the gas will take damage ticks per over time, and you can see them within the gas and you can shoot them to deal more damage. The gas grenade is one of the best ways to deal a lot of damage to enemies within a small area, within enclosed areas, and is also a good way to give yourself cover in the fight if you need it. Here's a secret, if you did not already know. Nobody likes pushing a Caustic while the gas is going off, which is why me personally, I believe Caustic is one of the best defense legends, especially for enclosed areas. Alright, so now we're going to talk about my boy Mirage.
Having a good time.
Yes, we're having a good time. Mirage has a passive called Now You See Me. Mirage has the ability to deploy a cloak upon reviving teammates, as well as using a respawn beacon to call down the respawn dropship.
I'm back. You miss me? Of course you did.
Mirage is one of the best legends to use for a sneak res, but keep in mind that if you do try and res a teammate that is downed, although you will be invisible and you will make the teammate invisible as well, the sound of the revive is still present, and a keen-eyed player can spot exactly where Mirage is respawning. So let's say my teammate goes down, Bijou's on the floor, and I'm trying to do a quick res on her. All I have to do is hold the res button, she will go invisible, so will I, and I will be able to pick her up incognito-like. Now, Mirage's tactical is a very unique one. Mirage is able to deploy a decoy.
Yeah, sending out a decoy.
Decoys can be used to distract the enemy, to bamboozle the enemy, and you control the decoy manually by pressing your key, and you can move them around. The decoy will mimic any movement that you make, whether it's a jump, a crouch, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, you cannot high-five yourself using the decoy. Maybe that will be in a future update.
Jank.
So Mirage's tactical allows him to shoot out a decoy, like I said. If I was to shoot a decoy out towards my enemy here, I can control it, move it around. If Bijou shoots it, then it will bamboozle her, she will be fooled, and it will tell me how many meters away that she was when she shot my decoy. And then Mirage's ultimate is called Life of the Party. He goes invisible for a split second, and he shoots out multiple decoys that cannot be destroyed until the 45 damage tick mark, and Bijou will not know who the real Mirage is until you attack her, or until they...
Getting shot at. Get out there and bamboozle.
Now, one of the best ways to use Mirage in a fight is to utilize your decoys to the best of your ability. Now, if you are ever fighting an enemy and you take cover, let's say I was to go back here, I'm fighting Bijou. She currently does not see me. I send out a decoy that way. I move my real self over here. She thinks that's me. I get behind her. I pop up some shots. Not every player will fall for these kind of tactics. They kind of have to be used situationally. And for Mirage's ultimate life of the party, if you are not using it to run away or disengage from an enemy, if you're trying to use it in a fight, if you pop it the very second you are about to fight someone, it is probably one of the best ways to use it to ensure that Bijou does not know right away who the real Mirage is. And then you can try and get position on her. Alright guys, so that is half of our Apex Legends roster. We went through Bloodhound to Mirage. We're going to go over the last half of the Legends in the next video. Bijou, do you have any opinions on Legends and preferences of who you like to use?
Out of the ones we talked about today, probably Bloodhound I like the most. I think his recharge for his ult is really, really good when you're in a fight. It's really helpful, and your scan comes up faster for your other teammates.
Would you say that you're a good Bloodhound main?
I wouldn't say good. I would say I just play him often.
Okay, she dabbles in a little Bloodhound. She can get the job done.
A little sprinkle.
My personal opinion on the Legends that I've talked about today, probably some of my favorites are obviously going to be Pathfinder and Wraith. I do have most of my kills, most of my plays on Pathfinder and Wraith. I'm a player who enjoys very mobile Legends, people who can move quickly, because Apex Legends itself is a very mobile game. If you are not moving, you are dying. So the best way to win a match, to win 1v1 fights, to win 1v3 fights, is to get someone who can relocate quickly, move to cover, move fast, shoot fast. Bijou, any final thoughts for the guys here?
Yeah, this one.
Bad news, I'm down.
Ah! I hate you. Absolutely terrible. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching our breakdown of half of the roster of Apex Legends. We're going to go over the other half in a later video. I hope that you have gained some kind of knowledge from this and you have a better idea of what kind of legend you are. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below. If you want to come hang out with us live, I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. You can ask me any questions about these legends and anything that we've talked about today. But that'll be it for me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Enhance your senses. Oh shit, I sneezed.
Bless you. It was going so well.